Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I do want to speak about Mikel Merino and his operation with FC Barcelona, and then later in the video, we're also going to be talking about the latest regarding the injuries. Players like Pedri, Araujo are both down, and Hansi is going to have to find a way to deal with their injuries. How can Barcelona move forward with the absence of Pedri and Araujo for the next 3 to 4 months? It's a very serious conversation that Barcelona, Hansi and the rest of the sporting staff do need to have. So if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. I'm happy that you guys are here. If you guys are Barcelona fans, this will be the channel for you. This is where we do talk about everything regarding FC Barcelona. And so if that thing is for you, please subscribe to the channel. And if you guys do want to support this YouTube channel, please click the thumbs up button. It would really help push this video to many other more people. So let's first talk about Mikel Merino. And it states here, according to Alex Pintanel, that Barcelona is exploring Mikel Merino as a target. Flick has already given the green light, and the club believes they can sign him for somewhere around 20 million euros. Despite Arsenal's interest, Barcelona is ahead, with Merino wanting to come. And so Mikel Merino has been a strong option for FC Barcelona. Hansi Flick has been interested in multiple CDMs like Joshua Kimmich, Amadou Onana. We even heard at one point Paulinho being linked to Barcelona 3 months ago. But another midfielder, of course, is Mikel Merino. And one of the competitors that Barcelona are going to have to go up against is going to be Arsenal. Arsenal do want Mikel Merino. It was reported 22 days ago that Mikel Arteta has already communicated to the midfielder Mikel Merino his strong desire to bring him to Arsenal. The player finds the Gunners' proposal attractive, but still a deal is without a significant progress. Then it was reported 5 days ago that there are only 2 options for Mikel Merino: a transfer or renew with Real Sociedad, and the club does want 20 to 30 million euros for the player if he does end up leaving. Arsenal, Barcelona, and Atletico Madrid are interested in the 28-year-old. So Arsenal are very much in the race and they want the player. Arteta right now wants to build a super team and they want to gear up towards winning the Premier League next season, and so they're willing to spend a huge amount of money for the player. Whatever the club does ask for, Arsenal will pay. This is something that Barcelona cannot do, so we have to be very careful. Also keep in mind, Arsenal are not only just interested in Mikel Merino, but they're also interested in Nico Williams. So it's almost as if Arsenal is copying the sporting plan of Barcelona. They're basically saying, okay, if Barcelona wanted these 2 players, we should also sign these 2 players. Very similar to how Real Madrid approached Barcelona last transfer window. Everything that Barcelona were going for, Real Madrid got closely into the race. Now apparently it is Arsenal and they want Mikel Merino and Nico Williams. Now if you guys are wondering what is going to be the plan with Mikel Merino, is he going to be a starter, is he going to be a backup? I believe that Hansi Flick will use him as a very strong backup, somebody who can rotate with other CDMs, because we have to keep in mind, when Xavi was the coach of FC Barcelona, he wanted Guido Rodriguez from Real Betis to be the backup to either Gavi in the CDM position or Frankie or Christensen or whoever. When Hansi Flick came in, Guido Rodriguez was out of the transfer list, and the player that came up immediately after was Mikel Merino, which is why I'm assuming that Mikel Merino is going to be taking the role of Guido Rodriguez, somebody who is just going to be there to add extra depth, which is something that we definitely do need. With so many injuries prevailing, and with Barcelona also going into 4 to 5 different competitions, of course, depth is going to be so important, and Mikel Merino is a great depth player. And so if you guys are unfamiliar with his game, I think that if Barcelona were to buy this player for 20 million euros, that is a steal and a great piece of business. I would put it right up there with Barcelona getting Zubimendi, for example, for 50 million euros. It's one of the best deals right now within the transfer market. So Mikel Merino for 20 million euros, are you serious? We have to go all in and make sure we get the deal done. He is 28 years old, within the exact same age of Rodri. He has great ball progression. He's a good playmaker. He dictates games, and he is great at shooting from outside the box and great with headers. Hence the reason why Mikel Merino scored that goal against Germany. When it comes to defending headers or attacking headers to score goals, Mikel Merino is your man. It was also reported 2 months ago that Mikel Merino is number 1 in duels won within the top 7 leagues in the world, according to Opta data. Mikel Merino came in at number 1 with 326, and then comes Kudus at 297, who represents West Ham United. And let's assume that Gavi ends up being one of the CDMs for Hansi Flick's Barcelona within a 4-2-3-1 system, because I know that Gavi is not going to be starting in the first 4 to 5 matches of the season, because right now he is injured and he is expected to come back by November. But let's just assume that by the time we get into February 2025, Gavi is a starter and starting in the CDM position. Here is how Gavi pairs with the other potential options. Starting with Mikel Merino on the left, you can see that Mikel Merino gives a lot of progressive passes, a lot of key passes, forward passes, but does not exceed in defensive actions and carrying compared to Gavi, because Gavi is simply just, he's a monster. When you compare Gavi with Frankie de Jong, you can see that Frankie de Jong gives you so much more from a technical point on the ball. So many progressive passes, so many key passes. The forward passes is insane and immense, but of course Frankie de Jong does not beat Gavi in terms of defensive actions. And then when you compare Gavi with Andreas Christensen, you can just see that Andreas Christensen is really good at dual percentage, progressive passes, forward passes. He's a great progressor, but does not compete with Gavi in terms of defensive actions. And so let me ask you guys this: where do you see the most balance between these graphs here? Who does Gavi pair up with the best? Is it Mikel Merino? Is it Frankie de Jong? Or is it Andreas Christensen? When we look at these stats here, we can also see that his strengths do lie in the aerial duels. He is averaging about 6 aerial duels won per 90 minutes, and he is in the 99th percentile. It's amazing. In his clearances, he's in the 88th percentile. He's also extremely strong in the touches in the attacking penalty area, and he does lie within the 93 percentile. And the reason why he has so many touches in the attacking side of the pitch is because he presses extremely high. This is something that we have seen with Real Sociedad many times. He is always being demanded to go up top, go steal the ball, go win the ball, and progress forward. Hence the reason why he has so many touches is because he wins those duels. This is something that's going to be greatly appreciated at FC Barcelona. So I do think that he is a great super sub and somebody that can play with either Gavi or with Frankie or with Christensen. And so for 20 million euros, let's get the deal done. You can't find any other player that brings this for 20 million euros. Moving on from that, I also want to speak about the injuries. Now, first of all, Alejandro Balde is back and he has been training with the group ever since today. And this is, of course, according to Alex Pintanel. So finally, Alejandro Balde has returned. We needed a player like him. I think that, yes, maybe the left back position was in a way secured because of Cancelo, but hey, we have not heard anything regarding Cancelo's continuity at Barcelona. And so Alejandro Balde's appearances and health is so important. And I think that Hansi Flick does have huge plans for Alejandro Balde. He can definitely turn Balde into a monster on the left flank, making him much more efficient. Let's remember his best season was back in the 2022-2023 season, where he did play 44 matches, scored 1 goal, and provided 6 assists. It's very impressive for somebody who was just only 19 years old. So imagine what he can do today and within this upcoming season. Let's see if he can succeed his assist rate and just turn it up a notch to maybe 10 to 12 assists. It would be a wonderful thing to see. And so moving on from that, let's also speak about Pedri and Ronald Araujo. Pedri is going to be out for about 5 to 6 weeks according to Javi Miguel. Unfortunately for Pedri, he cannot catch a break, but also keep in mind that it is not the most serious injury. He could have been out for about 4 to 5 months, but no, Pedri's out for only 5 weeks. I am expecting for Pedri to return by the time the season does start. And fortunately for Hansi Flick and his options, he has plenty of options when it comes to the number 10 position within the 4-2-3-1 system. We could put Gundogan, we could put Fermin Lopez, maybe try in Noah Darvic, maybe even Rafinha as a temporary solution. So I believe that that position is safe. For Ronald Araujo though, that is where things get very serious because Hansi Flick does need a center back like him, somebody who is comfortable within a high line and has pace, has strength, and does have a lot of athleticism. Araujo does give you that. And unfortunately, Araujo is not going to be returning until December of this year. So he's going to be out for about 4 to 5 months, and that's very unfortunate. Now, there has been some reports about how there is a very optimistic return for him, which could be by the end of October. But let's just say worst case scenario, because I don't really like to plan for best case scenario because maybe, sometimes it does not happen. So worst case scenario, December. It really does suck because a great defensive line with Barcelona does contain Araujo in it. And at the end of the day, he is one of our captains. Probably not the best example as of now, but he is at the end of the day one of the captains. Barcelona will also receive 2.5 million euros from FIFA as a compensation for Araujo's injury because, it's very inconvenient. And there has been some crazy talks about Araujo maybe leaving Barcelona this summer. It was reported, according to Mateo Moreto, that before his injury, there were no concrete talks or offers for Araujo to leave. He was focused on the Copa America. But now, with his contract expiring in 2026, no agreement is close with Barcelona. We'll see what happens. Barcelona are unable to sell him and will try to renew his contract. The injury has mainly affected the timing of this decision. And there has been many talks about Araujo maybe going to a different club, and that could be the reason why he has yet to renew with Barcelona. So there has been some whispers and chatting going through the media. Because look, if Araujo truly wanted to stay at Barcelona and wanted to have continuity with the club, he would have told the club before the Copa America even started that he wants to continue and to just put this whole story to rest. But he has yet to renew. And so at the end of the day, I'm not going to think too negative about this whole situation. I think that Araujo will continue. We just have to now just focus on what's going to be our temporary solution within the first 4 to 5 months of the season. It was reported earlier today that Hansi Flick is very impressed with Mikel Merino and the way that he has been training. Again, I have told everybody here in the past 4 to 5 weeks, I think that one of the players that can blossom into the 11 could be Mikel Merino. This could be his chance. This could be his moment to take on the position of Ronald Araujo. Do I think that he's going to be starting immediately? No, but I think that he will be getting much more minutes than originally expected. Faye has shown great athleticism, great goal scoring capabilities. He's is great on the ball, very composed, very similar to Kubarsi, but Faye is a little more athletic. I think that there is a chance that we could see Kubarsi and Faye get paired up at the back. I'm very excited for this player, and this is a player that does allow me to dream that our defensive line can be great and solid with Faye at the back and being paired with Kubarsi. The only thing that does scare me just a little, right? Because I know that I'm trying to be positive here, and I know that I'm trying to, push away all the negative feelings about this whole situation, but I have to say this. There is one thing that does scare me a lot, and that is Kubarsi going to the Olympics. Because if Kubarsi goes to the Olympics and he gets injured, that is going to be suicide for Barcelona. And that's probably the reason why I don't want Kubarsi going to the Olympics, is because I don't want anything bad to happen to the player. Like, I really do pray and I hope that Kubarsi comes back to Barcelona fully healthy. I think that it's going to be great for him to get his fitness levels up, get some minutes in, get into the rhythm, but overall it's a gamble. I don't want Kubarsi to get any sort of injury, because if Kubarsi and Araujo are out, then I'll be like, okay, we have a problem here. Then I'm gonna have to think about, okay, so we can have maybe Inigo Martinez and Christensen at the back, but still, like if you have Barcelona with Christensen and Inigo Martinez at the back, and then you see Barcelona getting grouped with maybe Arsenal, maybe City in the Champions League group stages, that is going to be a problem. And so let's just pray for the best. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.